Hi there. Welcome to our Saturday Fever, your global equity and futures market review. My name is Jack Wong, and this review is for 2014. So allow me to share with you my screen and just hang on for a second. Oh, here we go. And the time now is 9:48 p.m. Singapore, Hong Kong, Malaysian time. So this is our disclaimer, and you can see that we are only sharing with you educational content. None of the content here is to be treated or should be construed as investment advice. Okay, so with that, let's begin this week's review. Interestingly, next week is going to be a light reporting week for other currencies, but not so much for US dollars. We have Janet Yellen, the US Federal Reserve Chairman, who gave her testimony on Wednesday and Thursday this week. And you can see that the US is going to keep a low interest rate environment for a while. And Yellen basically said nothing about the time frame for the US interest rate hike, which to the market, it might be construed as good news. Mario Draghi, the ECB chairman, actually talked about the negative interest rate in June. I can see there's something called currency rotation. So US dollars goes up. Somehow the equity market is strong. See next week what we are looking for are number one, retail sales data, and now inflation rate CPI, which is the Thursday night's data, is considered important because if the info, the low interest rate environment will continue. Okay, so these are some of the things that we are tracking. At the same time, Janet Yellen is going to speak on 7 a.m. Singapore, Hong Kong, Malaysian time, and that can affect the market on Friday. Okay, so for other news, we are going to talk about it in our Saturday FIFA, your weekly forex market review. Okay, I'll do another video. As some of you know, we have split the market review into two parts. So this part focuses on only the equity and futures market. Let's look at dots of the Dow system. So the 7 stocks, which are part of the big dots, continue to shine. Merck, and you can see that there's the stock slowly, quietly climbing up. That is McDonald's. This is the second best performer of the dots of the Dow. Now, I would also want to mention AT&T. Last week, AT&T was up 1.7% YTD. This week, AT&T is now up to 3.6%. So this little bugger is slowly climbing up. Okay, watch out for that. So in terms of the system, well, it is one, and at the same time, the small dot still remains in negative territory. Bear in mind that Dow Jones is all considered no change, but it is also very near the all-time high. This market in Singapore English we call xiao. Xiao to our friends in other countries means crazy, illogical. Well, so when we look at the charts, you will know why. Let's talk about our 24-hour iron condor system. So this probably will be the last set for Q2. We do have one coming up in June. So when the time comes, I'm going to explain to you what it is. Well, this is our iron condor trade that we put in just before the earning announcement. Well, I do have to wake up. I still remember on that night, I didn't go in at 10:30, which is 1 hour after the market has opened. Essentially, I have to wake up. I have 3:40 a.m. On Thursday morning to put this trade. Well, of course, this pays off very nicely. So we had a 29.8% return on investment for Tesla's. So this one worth the time and effort of waking up at 3:40 a.m. Singapore, Hong Kong, Malaysian time. Priceline Group, the earning announcement was even better. We had 2 trades for iron condor, both are winners. So congratulations. How we actually feel free to join our online trading for profits membership site. site, and down there you would be able to hear, ask, and even check what we are doing. It's a free membership site. So what's stopping you from going? Okay, sector performance. Okay, the S&P sectors, well, strongest one. We did talk about the utility sector, but you can see that because of the risk-on environment, utility sector has come down. Okay, there was a little bit sell-off. And I do also notice that the cyclicals, the financials, and healthcare are slowly climbing back from the bottom. So it becomes quite interesting to see whether there will be any turnaround of healthcare cyclical, which will have been quite weak for quite a while. Okay, John Person pivots weekly chart. Well, I do notice there is a weekly buy signal on the Dow Jones, well, the 4 big indices. Now, I also noticed that the Russell 2000 is considered quite weak, together with Nasdaq 100 bearish candlesticks, okay, candle bar. Okay, other than this, the SPX is merely a doji. YM, which is the mini Dow, there's a buy signal on the weekly chart. So you can see there's a divergence in the market. Again, the small cap, the technology stocks are weak. The big caps are slightly neutral to bullish. Okay, so now let's look at the charts. Okay, let's look at the charts. And this is going to be quite interesting because we have quite a lot of one. Let's look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Now you can see that we are just merely. What is the merely? Merely is just like less than 100 points before Dow Jones tested the all-time high. Now the thing is this: this all-time high testing is quite interesting because there is a little bit of the rising wedge. Okay, now it's not a very clean one. Okay, I won't say that it's the perfect textbook example, but that being said, this index has a breaking out. Which side, I don't know. Remember, I did talk about this summer rally thing. So even though you might be subscribing to the logic or the idea of selling may go away, do watch out for summer rally because that can be a surprise to the bear. Now, I'm not saying that I'm just saying that I'm a little bit cautious, okay, about the selling may go away thing. Okay, so let's see whether I am right or whether the market will prove me right. Nasdaq 100 on the even more interesting when you see lines joining up this way, it is telling you, okay, other than of course the support and the resistance, triangular formation comes. Gee, this is a quite very horrible one because we don't know which side is going to break out. And at the same time, unlike Dow Jones, we are not even talking about testing the near high. It's still quite far away from the previous high. So let's see whether the index is going to do something to my surprise. Okay, SPX, okay, this is the S&P 500. Again, the all-time high is here, 1897. And to me, right now, we are just 20 points away. Let's see whether it's going to break out the all-time high or it is resistant at the all-time high. Now, meanwhile, we are quite cautious. Okay, I'm not saying that it will break out. Between Dow Jones and SPX, obviously the Dow Jones chart is a little bit bad. Be careful when you choose your stocks to go long. Now, Russell 2000, this is an expand wedge. Now, I'm not going to suggest what is going to happen. I do watch out this level 1082 carefully because that was the previous support of this hammer. Okay, this chart is ugly, definitely uglier than the Dow Jones and SPX. However, I have to be mindful that there is a support that happens here. Okay, once and also twice. So watch out this level closely. Okay, so fortunately our 60 days iron condor was closed yesterday, so we did a very nice one. We actually opened up in order to diversify our we apart from our weekly Russell calendar spread or Russell iron condor 4 days trade, we also put on something called a 60 days iron condors, which we aim at closing at 30 days to expiration. So, well, this iron condor worked out very well. So that is the reason why we are very flexible in diversification. Okay, so let's look at the crude oil. Crude oil, well, essentially the whole week is not doing anything since the bounce off of this support. Crude oil is effectively doing zero, nothing. It is like 1 point up, 1 point down. It's a super boring consolidation. So nothing much I need to report. For gold, I'm quite sad to say that, well, the breakout happened on Monday, but because of Janet Yellen's testimony, there was a super long red candle, boom. So we call it a false breakout. So I'm waiting for a rebound and see whether gold is going up again. Okay, so there was a false breakout, so I'm a little bit disappointed. That's why I said, in order to trade gold, trade oil, I can't just look at the fundamentals, because fundamentals can kill the chart in 1 second. Okay, so keep in mind. Now let's move on to we have Apple. Apple, obviously, we have a fakie. I call it a fakie because on the 6th of May, Tuesday, if I remember correctly, Apple actually closed above, tested above 600, but it failed to close above 600 on that day. Friday, Apple level and finishing at 585. So let's see whether this will be a swing low, so that Apple is going 100. Okay, so check it out. I'm waiting for this to happen. Amazon, well, this is downtrend continue. Wednesday, what happened at Amazon 86? Thursday and Friday, there was a series of indecision between the bulls and the bears. So I'm watching the 279 level closely and see whether this is another level. Belgian IDEC, well, we have post May, so I'm looking for the June call spread to come. I love this kind of market when so many people said there's no opportunity to trade. I said, hang on for a minute. People who know how to trade option makes money in this, and I love this position. Now, I'm not so keen to open up another call spread at this point in time. I like to sell in strength, so I'm waiting for some indication of going up before it's the perfect time to sell a call spread. I don't see going in mind that around this period, healthcare stocks are seasonally weak. So this is the reason why I'm using call spread as an idea. And we have been profitable for 2 months. So June, I'm watching for the opportunities to do another call spread. And let's see what will happen. CMG Triple Dell, well, as I said last week, there was a support found at 480 level. And I said, well, let's see whether CMG is going to test the 509. Yes, indeed, it happens. So here was a resistance during the week. Now I'm waiting for this 509 to be broken. If the equity market is bullish, break above 509. At that time, I'm looking for the next resistance level, which could well be 500. Okay, we have the earning announcement already. Thank you very much. So what happened was that GMCO and boom, really hard on Thursday and Friday. So now I'm looking at, since the stock has gone up, looking for the resistance here, and there's nothing really I can do because the 2 bars are pretty much telling us that, well, it is just $7 or $8. Let me see this from the resistance. So no trade at this point. Okay. And Google L, well, thank you for that, Google L. What we have got is continuing downtrend, but I would also love to report that the 510, 511 level was very. So as a result, what we did was we have a 4-day trade on the Google Iron Butterfly. So we make our 10% very fast last week. We just opened another Iron Butterfly, aiming at closing the trade hopefully Monday or Tuesday for another 10%. So the market of this kind of market condition is pretty favorable for take advantage of the drop in volatility and at the same time a positive theta. So this is the trade that I'm looking at. At the same time, we have 30-day iron condor trade, and that should be closed out hopefully again on Monday and Tuesday. So Google We have a very short iron fly. We have a 30-day iron condor doing us very nicely. Okay, IBM bounced off at 186 level. So now 190. I don't see IBM going up or down much for this period. So basically it is a very much of a gyration trading. So if you are looking at a possible trade here, what I would say is that maybe selling a selling a put spread may work, because if you are still bullish in IBM, or you can just keep on selling put spread. Okay, so 186 was a very nice support. So looking for a put spread to sell. That's IBM. ISRG, I was looking at the stock on that on Friday. Yes, it broke below the 351, but it closed above 351. So nice. This is a support. So hopefully ISRG will go up, because I have a 30 days condor which is about to hit our profit target. And I was so happy to see the support is reacted nicely, so that our condor is still making money on this good trade. Michael Kors will only announce earnings in 2 weeks' time. So the stock is doing currently nothing. So there's really nothing for me to watch out. So I just keep in mind on that. Next one is Linkin. Linkin, there was a very nice rebound at 144 support. So on Friday, the stock actually closed at 148. So looking at a potential test of the resistance, and if this is not the case, then who knows, the support is at 144 or 125. So I do need to see a few more candles to decide to gauge whether Linkin has found the support here. Meanwhile, I'm not so in any bullish trade or selling a put spread for Linkin. It's just too tricky. This hammer, while it is a hammer, it is a bit fragile because the trend is down. So rather sell in strength, not so much of buying or doing bullish trade on Linkin. Thanks Hello Kitty, because if you are in Singapore, you will know that her Hello Kitty series, and the Hello Kitty series has pushed up McDonald's very nicely. So on Friday, as you can see, McDonald's is almost $103, going to test the 134 cents resistance. We have our core diagonal spread, which will close with profits by end of the week. Looking for another core diagonal spread on McDonald's. Well, people ask how do we win money on this? I said, well, for last 2 been doing long diagonal spread. I keep rolling up, doing vertical rolls, and basically I was all the way to now, and that's how I train McDonald's. So keep eating McDonald's. It helps. Netflix found 120 level. So Netflix, if this is the real support, then what happened, of course, is Netflix can go up and test the recent swing high. If this swing high is broken or is taken up, 380 is a possibility. So it seems that the equity market is coming back in strength. As you can see, some of these momentum stocks which were beaten up so hard, they are coming back. This market gives us all these things. Okay, so we have another 24-hour iron condor on priceline.com, as I've already just said about 10 minutes ago. And you can see that priceline.com actually tested the 1100 level very nicely. So if the 100, this level 110 Priceline may be going back to 1200. So let's see what the stock is going to do. Qihoo 360 is going to announce earnings in 2 weeks' time. So Qihoo actually had a very nice drop and is now going to test the 73 level. I'm still not going to stock. Let me also mimic the trade in Tencent, which is the Hong Kong 700. I said I like to look at this stock in order to gauge the movement of Qihoo 360. Now you can see that Qihoo actually at Wednesday as well. So now I'm waiting for some indication as to whether the stock is continuing formation. So this is what I see in Tencent. No trade already broken below the 61.8% Fibonacci retracement. So no trade. So put it aside first. We have Spirit Airlines, so testing the 5466 level. So waiting for this support to be tested for looking at potential on safe. Starbucks for the whole week, well, is hovering around $70 and essentially any bullish one. So what do? Just wait. Keep drinking green tea latte. Okay. We then have THRM. THRM, you can see my arrow set. My arrow actually said that I would like to test the support at 36.92 before I looking for upside potential next week. So the stock is doing nicely in accordance with what we are thinking. Okay, so we have weekly bar, okay, weekly inside bar on TLT. So lesson for TLT next week. We have TRM, which is Trinity Industry. I said one of the IBD top 5 IBD 50 stocks. Sorry, top 5 IBD stocks. Yes, nicely tested $80 already. So waiting for the stock to come down. Okay, if you have not done, have not got into a position, well, wait for the retracement before you get in. Okay, so still have plenty of time. Tesla, we have the 24-hour iron condor already. I like the stock testing 180 level, but the trend is a bit bearish. So let's see whether Tesla is going to test the $169 in the coming week. United Rental is still doing this so-called rising wedge, and essentially I'm still waiting for this 96.72 to be broken. Meanwhile, I have a long diagonal spread which I'm able to close out next week for profit. So that's the reason why, even though one can actually just buy a call, okay, a long call on a stock like this, but if you see the stock is not really moving much, or the speed is not like what you have seen in February, against the long call position makes perfect sense. And that's the reason why in our ASTC class and our AVMIC class, we talk about the concept of long diagonal spread, because that's how we make money when the stock is doing essentially nothing. Okay, so there's a new IBD 50s. Now, AFIS budget has a very big long candle on Thursday, so I'm watching this 51.3 level closely and see whether this is a support. So I will start tracking this stock, okay, within the next few weeks. ALK, now we have got Spirit Airlines. We have also got Alaska Air Group. Alaska Group, you can see that we are is actually one of the top IBD 50 stocks. Now, I'm watching for this level to be broken, and in case perhaps there is another potential long. Okay, so there are quite a lot of things we are watching out for the purpose of this presentation. Okay, so people ask, well, we talk about long call diagonal spread. We also talk about iron condor stuff. Where do we get this idea from? Well, this is why we have batch 2 ASTC. So if you want to understand how we actually put on all these trades, well, welcome on board. On 26th of May, we will begin our batch 2 ASTC class. If you key in the promo code ASTC 2014, you will enjoy the tuition, well, reduced tuition of $397 only. Good. Okay, so that's all for this week's observations. Kindly send me an email. You can also check out my website's membership sites. Check out ASTC class for the details. Okay, so I hope you enjoy this week's Saturday Fever, your global equity and market review. I hope you enjoy this Google Plus Hangout edition, and I'm going to do up our Forex market review shortly. I'll see you next week, guys. This is Jack Wong. I'm signing off now. Bye-bye.